So let's have a look at Sunday's qualifying, and you can see dry track conditions as everybody hit the track and tried to make the most of qualifying, because qualifying just as important as a super lap, because this is also for points, and the more points you can gain, obviously the better chance your championship has of standing up. Ray McGinley, Michael Anderson, Puma, well, that car has been getting faster and faster, that driver pair. Really, they have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. It's not just all about the car. The work those guys are putting in, looking at what they're doing, checking their data, their speed traps, and everything else that goes with it, and trying to improve each time they come down from the Shetland Isles. And there's the commitment right there. Marshall Wishart, another man from the Shetland Isles. And one man that probably wishes he'd gone to the Shetland Isles was Adam Morrison. A big spin at the top of Duffus for Adam, and that is a racing driver stomp through the gravel trap. When you land down there, you know you've had a proper big spin from the top of the hill. Stands beside the Pentland component sign, and he is out of qualifying. Car number 39 goes through, and a relative newcomer, Francis Simpson, but really finding his feet and a place in the paddock with his good friend Fraser McNeil. Both those guys have come along and really are doing a great job finding exactly how much fun Super Lap can be. And look at that, a very uncharacteristic move from Jamie Gowdy. Finds himself in the gravel, and he ain't going to be going nowhere once he's in there. That little MX-5 was pretty beach. You can see it there just digging itself down. Up go the hands, mamma mia, or something like that from Jamie. He was going no further in qualifying. 79 in the pro class, Eric Holmes back as ever, and Eric always good for a laugh. And yeah, we held our breath for a minute there as through came Mark Kemp very sideways, as Fraser Huntley puts a lot of pressure under David Long. Now those two guys were together quite a lot. Keith Richardson was on his own for quite a lot of the session, and Alan Stewart, well, he wished he was somewhere else right now as he put the TR7 into the grass on the middle of the hairpin. And oh dear, the troubles returned for Stephen Henderson. After having such a fabulous year to this point, it was one thing after another, and this turned out to be some sort of alternator issue that was going to haunt him most of the weekend. And Stephen would get to the bottom of it, and he would hopefully be back for the final Paul Walker on the 7th and 8th of September. As Ewan Begbie, well, come down there, all action was Begbie, and through that lovely bit of camera trickery, turned into Sean Hislop there, who turned into Nev Wood, who turned into the hairpin carrying too much speed and understeered his way through the apex. But Nev in the aerial atom, well, possibly the coldest driver out there, because there's no body panels on it. And then the busiest driver out there was this man, Simon Griffiths, joining us from Nottingham, making his first trip north of the border for Super Lap Scotland. Well, as you can see, he was enjoying himself. Obviously, he's been watching the highlights videos, and he'd been keeping an eye on Jordan Smith. And then he looped it at the hairpin and watched this. Look at the gravel traps. You can see they work. Forward, no. Will we go backwards? No, we're not going to go backwards either. Great shame. Stuart Robin, the distance in the TVR, having a big moment as well. And Martin Brown, the king of the hill for 2018, defending his outgoing crown. But Ray McGinley was fastest. Ray McGinley was getting quicker and quicker. He did a 62.5 in the G class. In F class, Mark Kemp managed a minute .03, desperately trying to get under that minute bracket, and I'm pretty sure he will come the end of it, but very fast for him. Robert Wilkie was flashing through shot there as well. Quickest in class E, car number 34. Quickest in D class, the big BMW of Paul Smith. And then Ian Pittman, just watch the commitment he turns in here. Fastest in class C with a 55.777. And in B class, well, that Noble once again shrugging off the gearbox gremlins, which he has had. Ben Robinson done a 54.717. Fastest man in A class, David Long, with a 52.279. And David Long, well, you've got to keep your eyes on him. He's extremely fast. He puts a lot of effort into it. And the fastest man in the pro class was Colin Dorward. Colin has been getting faster and faster all year. And to put a 50.8 second lap down in qualifying means that for his super lap, would he go any quicker than that? Sensational stuff from Colin. 50.8, fastest man of the morning. As we move into the finals, a big dark cloud hung over the top of Knockhill, and just look how threatening that looks. It's not something that's been done by camera trickery. It is actually that dark up there. Thankfully though, it is dry for the running, and first onto track was Ewan Duncan in his Volkswagen Golf. We've seen Ewan in a S2000 before, but here in a Golf he did a 107.5, and just ahead of him was Jamie Gowdy in his Mazda MX-5 with a 105.4. Second lap for the little green Mini, pulled out from the gravel trap. 167, Marshall Wishart, 5th place in Class G with a 105.391. All the way from the Shetland Isles, loving his super lap in his Fiat. In 4th place, number 100, getting quicker every time she goes out, the Suzuki Swift of Jenny Muir, a 105.301. And just ahead of her, car number 600, Michael Anderson in the Ford Puma. Michael Anderson shares the car with Ray McGinley. He was only good enough though for a 104.183 second lap. Into second place in G-Class, car number 86. Another one pulled from the gravel after qualifying, the Mini Cooper of Adam Morrison with a 103.745. And that meant Ray McGinley was the fastest man in G-Class. Number 60, a 102.515, taking the victory in the Ford Puma, which he shares with Michael Anderson all the way from the Shetland Isles. Ray McGinley, look how much he was putting into that, as he has a huge moment going through the chicane and almost into Clark's. That moment continues. Cracking lap. Imagine how fast it would have been if that man hadn't had that huge moment at the exit of the chicane. But to win Class G, car number 60, Ray McGinley in the Ford Puma, a 102.515. That was a pretty good lap, but it's not just been a pretty good lap, mate. It's been a very good weekend for yourself.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. 2 wins and car's going well, so impressed with the results. It's been good so far.
What work do you guys do on the car away from the circuit? Is it all set up and trying to tweak here and tweak there?
Actually, surprisingly little. The car is really almost as we bought it. We've changed very, very little other than the oil. Really, it's been a lot of testing whenever we can get a chance with suspension settings, different tyres, trying to just lose bits of weight here and there. So it's been a long-term experiment. Living in Shetland, you don't get much track time. So.
On to Class F now, as the dark skies had kind of drifted away from us. First car through, 132, Suzanne Buist. Mini Cooper S, Suzanne did a 106.375, and just ahead of her was in 8th place was Thomas Silk in the Ford Focus. Both those drivers would feature in our chase race. Thomas with a 104.6. Simon McWilliam, who had wheel bearing issues the minute he arrived at the circuit on the Saturday in his Renault Clio, did a 103.8. And just ahead of him was Tom Lockhart, car 716. Tom in his Renault Clio 172, good enough for 6th place in F-Class with a 102.9. The Renault Megane RS of Alex Milne come home in 5th place for Team Flying Haggis with a 102.734. And Sean Hislop, car 38, come home in 4th place with a 102.6, a 10th of a second faster. So Sean Hislop arrives in the Rockstar Pacesetter enclosure with a very, very rattly gearbox. He has been without 4th gear for the majority of the weekend, but congratulations, buddy. You are the Rockstar Pacesetter. A good lap there, minus a gear in the gearbox. How have you coped?
Just straight up changing from 3rd into 5th. Not able to use 4th all weekend, but still putting in pretty decent time. So chuffed with that. Points on the board. Glad I didn't go home and just call it a weekend yesterday morning. So all's good.
In 3rd place, it was car 172 of Keith Richardson and his Renault Clio 172. A 102.453 for Keith, even with a bounce off the sausage curb there. And just ahead of him was car 65 in 2nd place, Kevin Strachan in another Renault Clio. 102.073 for Kevin Strachan. And that led F-Class honours for car number 2, Mr. Sideways himself in F-Class, Mark Kemp. Mark did a 1 minute .036, almost into that 59 second bracket. He has been there, but he wants that so badly. Car number 2, the Mazda MX-5, up with his good helper and mechanic Phil White, looking after that car. Mark Kemp come into the hairpin and he knew it was a good lap. Finished 2 seconds clear of the rest of the field in F-Class. The smile was almost big enough to see from the camera at the exit of the hairpin. Just a smidgen away from breaking into the 59 second barrier, that magic 59 second barrier, but congratulations, current Rockstar Pacesetter Award, covered in Rockstar juice. Just so close to the 59s, but you have been in the 59 club this weekend.
Yeah, I was told on that, no lockups, no sideways, just a clean, safe lap. So I just wanted to get that in the bank.
But did it happen? Did you take the advice and the help?
Phil told me I must stay straight and no lockups, so that's why I wasn't quite under the 60 seconds.
So you're claiming your way is quicker than Phil's way?
I don't know if I dare say, but yes.
Moving into E-Class. Down the bottom of Duffus Dip there, we see James McClaney. And James come through, car number 12, struggling a little bit in this time as he goes down through Butchers. And then we move into car number 190, Henry Simmons, who's over from the sprint class. Henry Simmons in his Mazda MX-5, a 103.675 for him. Alan Stewart, who we saw in the hairpin grass after qualifying, made a little mistake going into the hairpin, cost him time, and a 102.7, only good enough for 8th place. Andy Napier, number 333, 7th place for his Honda Civic, a 102.533 for Andy, as he takes a good line through McIntyre's. And then we're going to Ewan Fraser. 5 on 5, we normally see him in a little Ginetta, but Ewan come out in the Porsche 911 this weekend, a minute .3 in his little Porsche, and loving life in that Porsche as well. We might see that car back another time. Then we get Ewan Begbie in 5th place, a minute .0 for Ewan Begbie in car 45 in his Renault Clio, just ahead of him, 47. Fraser McNeil in the Honda Civic, 59.375. That car sounding on point as it goes through there. And in 3rd place in E-Class, we've got Martin Brown, King of the Hill, Subaru Impreza WRX with a 59.2. Car 34, Robert Wilkie, the Renault Megane. Beautiful line down through the hill there, trying hard as ever. 59.1 seconds for him. 10th of a second faster than Martin Brown, and that meant Sean Martin was the man quickest in E-Class, car number 64, his Honda Civic Type R, 58.865, 2/10 of a second clear of Wilkie, and 3/10 up the road from Martin Brown. You can see just how close it is at Class E when it gets to the top business end. Martin only had to get through the hairpin, and once he did that, it was a drag up towards the line. He'd been fast all weekend, not just the Sunday final. And another man very happy with his super lap weekend. Well, you don't seem too happy with that lap, actually.
Temperature into the rear is just a bit of a, an issue, and a bit of a sideways moment into breaking into, what is it, Clark's? No, Clark's is over there.
Yeah. Duffus, first corner.
No, this tight right hander at the
Do you
bottom.
want me to name them all?
No. But no, I think it was alright.
On to D-Class, car number 58 in 6th place was Stuart McCracken in his Caterham Super Sprint, good enough for a 104.0. Darryl Seavey-Wright in 5th place, car number 70, just ahead of him in his Westfield with a 102.354. Darryl makes his way through McIntyre's, and in 4th place in D-Class, we've got Robert Davey with his Lotus Elise S220 Cup car, a 101.4 for Bobby Davey, another man who's been in Superlap for a long time now. 3rd place, 161, Simon Griffiths from Nottingham in his Caterham Super Sport with a 59.1, and you can see he's a lot calmer than he was in qualifying. And in 2nd place, it was Francis Simpson in his Honda Civic, a 57.917 for Francis, a stunning lap for the newcomer to Super Lap. But the winner was Paul Smith, number 46, BMW M3, 56.842. Paul Smith stamping his authority all over D-Class and making it look nice and smooth and very fast. 1 second ahead of Francis Simpson, and that goes to show you just how good Francis Simpson is getting on with Superlap. But Paul Smith wins D-Class in his BMW M3. Cracking lap, mate. You must be very happy with that. 56 seconds.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed. I made a few mistakes that time, so the car can do well into the 55. So just made a few mistakes. There's obviously final lap pressure, and that's the way it goes, you know.
Where were the mistakes about on the track?
Far too early braking into the hairpin for one, and the exit just completely sideways, nearly into the gravel, and there you go.
And that's the last corner of the lap. Nothing worse.
Nothing worse. Nothing you can do. Just plant it up the hill to the straight start finish and hope for the best after that.
Glenn Alcock was in as a guest, and he done a 1:15.020 in his Citroen C1, sampling Superlap Scotland, a man who we see racing at the SMRC quite a lot. And also Ian Biaggi, another rallycross veteran, Ian Biaggi, in as a guest as well. Great to see Ian here. He done a 105.320 in his little Mini, and you can see that car started life as a Mini Clubman. Another guest, Yumin Lai, a very fast guest at that. Yumin doing a minute .661. and we can't wait to see Human in the chase race and come back for more action. Stephen Jeffries, car 44, normally an A-class runner, in as a guest for this weekend, 53.870. That's a quick guest as well. No doubt we'll see Stephen back, maybe not for this year, but definitely back in Superlap in 2020 on a full-on assault, going for the championship. He's done a lot of work to that car, and it's great to see Jeffries back out in his number 44 trusty steed. As we move into Class C, first man down the hill, car number 9, Steve Arkley in his Mega Busa, a 58.968 for Steve Arkley in third place. Second place in Class C went to this man, the purple BMW of Stephen Brown. Stephen doing a 56.673. And the winner of Class C was Ian Pittman. Ian is absolutely flying this year. He's got that car so well dialed in. He looks at home in it, but yet he looks like he's trying as hard as he possibly can. Subaru Impreza, C-Class winner, 55.841 to Ian Pittman as he come up the back straight towards Clark Corner. You can see how aggressively he wants to turn in and brake at the same time there. Very late on the anchors in towards the hairpin. Does he get the apex? Turns it in, gets back to an apex. Perfect stuff for Pittman. Up to the checkered flag. Ian Pittman steps out the number 81 Subaru in C-Class to take the Rockstar Pacesetter can. Congratulations, mate. Good lap. Just hold on to that for a minute, Tiger. Good lap there. 55 seconds.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, nice. My problem is I think the wheel bearing's gone, so...
Did you notice an issue when you were going round there?
Yeah, the steering wheel's pointing to the left instead of being in the centre, and I'm like, And we've had a wee noise, and I'm now just on the way in. I'm kind of getting a time to look at it and thinking, oh, no.
You've still got the chase race to go.
I know. So... let's see how hardy Subarus are.
Oh, they're very hardy. Congratulations, a good time there.
Thank you very much. No, good with that. Cheers, I think it's PB actually. So.
PB?
55. I don't think I've done. I think a 55.3 was the last. So.
Well done, mate.
Spot on. Thank you.
Well done, Ian Pittman. As we move into B class, Keith Cowie fastest in fourth fastest. Keith Cowie, number 13 in his Seat Leon Super Copa with a 56.2, but very fast, I've got to say. Third place, Andy Clockworthy, Subaru Impreza, 55.621. In second place, Fraser Huntley, car number 66, his Nissan Silvia 200SX, 55.2. Great colour scheme on that car. Bit of a throwback by him and his dad. But the winner of Class B, car number 71, the Noble M12 of Ben Robinson. Ben doing a 54.943. And that 54.943 was 0.3 of a second faster than Fraser Huntley could do. In towards the hairpin, the Noble has been a little bit troublesome in times this year. He has had gearbox issues, but Ben looks like he's got to the bottom of that. Travels up from down south, gets round the hairpin, blasts up towards the checker flag. Classy lap for Ben Robinson.
Say Saturday and Sunday have been really good for it. I personally think it's great to have a road car at the top of the class as well. This is my first year doing it as well. First time I came over, I was nowhere near the top, to be honest. I think I finished last in the quali, last in the final. Done a bit of personal work. I'm up and down the country all the time, going to loads of different tracks at the moment, and yeah, it's all paying off.
Fraser Huntley pushing you all the way, very close between you two guys, in completely different cars. That's the beauty of SLS.
Yeah, Fraser's he's a really, really quick driver. Fraser was really on it when we were down at Croft. Unfortunately, he had a few mishaps down there, and it's also where I ended up breaking the gearbox in this. But yeah, Fraser's quick. I'm sure he's going to push us all the way through the year, and it'll be good to have some competition there as well.
On to A-Class we move, and Nev Wood, car number 10, good enough for third place in his Ariel Atom with a 56.112 second lap. Underneath the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge for Nev. In second place, car number 57, the TVR Tuscan, was Stuart Robb, a big name in the scene of hill climbing. Stuart Robb did a 55.116 in the big TVR Tuscan, which he absolutely loves to drive. He's told me so many good things about that car. The winner of Class A, car number 7, David Long, Caterham R400, 52.503, 2.6 seconds further up the road than anybody else. David Long is a man on a mission. The work he's put into this car over the winter, the development that he's done since he's had this car, he's had it for a long time, but it has started to shoot flames out the exhaust now coming into the hairpin. 52 seconds for Long, delighted with that. Takes the A-Class honours. So David, After that one, you've got to be pretty happy. A 52.5 second lap to put yourself the Rockstar pace setter and fastest man of the day in the A class.
Yeah, that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to get a 52, so that's good. Yeah, what can I say? It just took my breath away. There's so much. The car's working really well today, and there's so much grip out there that you can just push and push and push.
As we move into the Pro class, in third place in the Pro class, it was Matthew Lawson. Matty back once again in his Mitsubishi Evo 5 RS, 53.928 second lap. And watching these Pro cars, when you hear them going in the circuit, they are so fast. The Pro cars getting up to speeds of about 140 miles an hour. Eric Holmes in second place, car 79, in his Mitsubishi Evo, a 53.3 second lap for Eric as he come through the hairpin. When you stand on the pit wall, the noise and speed is just sensational as they pass you. Dorward, though, fastest man in the Pro class, not just in qualifying, but he also went faster in the Super Lap itself. He went a whole 0.2 of a second faster in the Super Lap final than he had in qualifying. A 50.6 second lap was something pretty special as Dorward powered up the back straight towards Clark Corner. He said he knew it was good. You could see that he was putting together a good lap, and in towards the hairpin, well, he did what everybody wants to do, go faster in the Super Lap than you do in qualifying. Dorward takes the Pro class honours, fastest man of the day, 50.6. Colin Dorward puts in a sensational lap in the Pro class, qualified with a 50.8, does a 50.6 in the runoff to put himself winner of Super Lap Scotland and the Rockstar pace setter. Congratulations, buddy, you deserve that. I think I've first of all got to ask you, you were flying in qualifying, but how do you prepare yourself for the final? And you've gone 0.2 quicker, which everybody wants to do. A lot of people struggle though. How do you prepare?
Well, I knew I had, with the qualifying session, I actually knew I had a bit more in the car. I got held up on a couple of laps, a couple of the hotter laps. I caught guys that I didn't expect to catch so quick, so I knew that there was more. And then because of the qualifying, I've got really in touch with the brakes on this car, so I knew that I had plenty to go on the brakes. So really, that's it. A bit more adrenaline as well for the final. So
you're driving it so well, you know. You can see a big smile on your face. You're coming, so it's obviously it's not too difficult to drive. Is it easy to drive at that speed? I'm not saying easy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a typical Evo. You know, a lot of people take the Evo beyond, but never get that sort of Evo feeling back. But I've went far in the past, but I've managed to bring it back so that you can be leery with it now and get that that real nice feeling of driving on the edge and knowing that it'll save you, if you see what I mean.
Listen, congratulations, buddy. What a win today.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Winner of the G class was Ray McGinley, with Mark Kemp winning F class. Winner of E class was Sean Martin, and Paul Smith once again won D class, as did Ian Pittman taking the C class honours. Ben Robinson was victorious in B class, and David Long took the A class honours. We just saw winning the Pro class, so Colin Dorward, fastest man round Knockhill, 50.6. The next instalment of Super Lap Scotland will be the 7th and 8th of September. It's the Paul Walker Festival, so make sure you join us for some great action.